Hello YouTube, the Quad Father again. A video request for the new Lemon RX receiver that we're going to be fitting today. I have no idea how this is going to go. I've never fitted one before. It looks in bits, to be honest. So let's get into it. I'm currently using the Orange RX. You've seen a video, my last video on setting up the Orange RX. You get a close up there. And this is the Orange RX R615X. Let's just see that there. And I've noticed some issues with range on this receiver, and I'll show you a video now of a couple of times when I've lost complete signal with this and crashed to the ground in a horrendous manner, to be honest. I bent one of the motors, so a bit of a nightmare.
Don't touch it, don't touch it. It is broken. What is that? It is broken.
So I thought it's better to change it. I've been recommended to get the Lemon RX here. This has got a satellite and a receiver, and it's meant to be a full range. It's meant to be full range, so we'll get into it and see what it's like. Comes in pretty basic packaging, to be honest. There's nothing there, just says DSMX compatible PPM package. Okay, so that'll be our receiver, piece by piece. That's our receiver there. It's just a bare board, there's not a lot to it, and that'll be your output there for the satellite, which is here. Now, I have ran before, in some of my older videos, I ran the Spektrum satellite only on my QAV 250, and that had terrible range as well. I've just really suffered with range and crashes. Nearly every time I crash is because I lose control of the quad, and 9 times out of 10 I'm not even that far away. I think the carbon fibre frames has something to do with that. I know that carbon fibre is conductive, and it definitely messes around with the signal. So I'm thinking with this, or hoping, shall I say, we've got diversity between this, and just an added kind of safety measure, really. So I'll be keeping you updated and letting you know how we get on after we fit it. So let's start with removing the old one. So we'll just nip that off there. Find these snips. We'll just go under here. 1, 2. Now the good thing about the Orange RX is that it was just like a box, so quite easy to just sit on the back there and cable tie it. But that's no good if I'm losing connection all the time. This has got to go. I do not recommend this. Be alright if you just want to park fly, but this is certainly not a long range receiver by any means. Get rid of that. Now, how on earth are we going to mount this? I think maybe this way. You can see that there. I think that might work. Now, they have kindly supplied some double-sided tape here, well, like a padded foam double-sided. So maybe if I go kind of in the middle there, I can stick that underneath. I'm just winging this here. I haven't opened it, I haven't even thought about it, so there'll probably be a bit of editing in this, but yeah, this is how I do things, really. Just think about it, plan it out before we start sticking things down and cable tying things. Now, I did think about running the satellite here. If that's going to go on the top, and I thought about putting the satellite underneath possibly. You know, this is obviously the underneath here, and maybe we could mount that underneath, but I do worry, one, it's going to cover up the LEDs a bit there, which I'm not too bothered about really, and number two is that if I do have a crash, hard crash, and land on the back there, I could end up damaging the satellite or ripping it off or causing some kind of problem there. And also the antenna is going to be very close to each other as well, so I don't really know, to be honest. I don't know how I'm going to mount it. We've got the battery here. I think that's going to be my only option, to be honest. I mean, the cable that they've supplied, which goes between the two, is quite a long cable. So let's just plug it in and see. Rather wait. And then into the receiver. Okay, so that's what we got to play with. So if we mount the main receiver here, yeah, I mean, we can go the whole distance really. As you can see there, we're right at the front. So maybe we should do that. Maybe I should try and mount this at the front somewhere. Again, the problem being that the antennas are very short, and if that is on the front, the antennas are not going to hang out over the side, I don't believe. Maybe could go behind where I mount my GoPro. Maybe that's an option. That should be alright. I think that might be a safe option. It will certainly give me diversity. You know, I think we're going to go with, let's make a decision. I can hide this through the frame of the Vortex, so that'll be nice. Okay, decision made. Let's do it. I think the first thing to do is run this cable through, seeing as we're going to be going all the way through the quad. So let's remove the battery, make things a bit easier for ourselves. Now I want to try and do this without obviously undoing all the screws on the Vortex. So we'll see if we can mount it. We go through the hole here where the power cable comes out. We're going to fold the legs in. Right, there's going to be a bit of fiddling here, YouTube, so you get the idea. I need to run the cable up through the frame, and I want to come out right in the back here where my GoPro mount is. So let me just run that cable up through, and I'm going to have to do that off camera, it's too awkward. Okay, we're back again. I managed to do that without taking the whole thing apart. So we got our cable going through a hole where our power lead comes out of and our receiver lead, and I managed to worm its way through all the way up to the back here. And what that's going to mean is that we can now start mounting this. So let's start with the satellite first. Get our double-sided tape, foam pad, whatever you want to call it. We'll just cut that to size. Could do with a less blunt pair of wire cutters, but they do. We're going to stick that onto the back of our satellite. So on the back there. Okay, we peel off the back side. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to stick that just on the back. In fact, let's remove this as well, make things a bit easier. Okay, I'm going to stick that just there. Okay. Now the good thing is when I strap the camera, that should hold it nice and secure anyway, because I use a Velcro strap there on the camera anyway. So that should secure that. We've got the satellite mounted onto the back of the GoPro mount there. Now I'm going to mount the main receiver on the back here. Now, there's not much protection on this. I know other people have got some heat shrink tubing around it. Actually, wait right there. I think I might have some big enough for that. Now this is the biggest I got. What do we think? We're going to be close. We're going to be close. Right, let's cut this to size. So we just hold that up. I'm going to have to make a incision here if I fold that around. And try squeeze that through. Is it gonna fit? Is it gonna fit? Just look at that. Made for it. Okay, and what we do to save any damage, I'm just gonna trim. Got to trim this back side out. It's about a third of the way down, so just do it by eye. You don't need to measure it all up. So at least it's offering some kind of protection there. Okay, I'll just cut a little snip away there. I'm going to do the same on this end, just a little corner. That is how you want to cut your shape, like so. So we've got a little slot there, a tiny little cut here, and a hole just here for the light to come out of. We thread that through. We can still get to the button here, and we'll still be able to get to the satellite feed on the back. Superb. Let's see if it fits now. Look at that. Made for it. Okay. Now we're going to plug our satellite just here inside. It's going to be away from the camera, you won't see it. Just do a little test fit before we stick anything down or heat shrink the tubing. Okay, that all looks okay. Got our aerial out here, so we're going to look to mount it kind of roughly here. We got our failsafe switch on the back there. And then this, we can tidy up them wires after. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm just going to quickly heat shrink this. Ow, it's hot. Okay, that'll do. Got some double-sided tape anyway, and we're just going to mount that on there. I think about there. So the other piece of double-sided tape, out it comes. Stick that to the bottom. Okay, there we go. I'm going to also put a cable tie around there anyway, just to make sure we're nice and secure. So that's on. Now our wires here. Now I'll be honest, I have no idea how this all goes. It's going to be a bit of trial and error, to be honest. I'm going to put a cable tie you know what, we can do the cable tie after. Let's make sure we're working first. Okay, just neaten these wires up. We can push the excess in. Okay, I'm pretty sure the ground will be kind of at the back, so I think we'll be alright to just go on the bottom here. I'm sure the bind plug will be on top. I'm just winging it here. Let's find out. Okay, next step, take the propellers off, very important. We're going to be setting this up and we don't want any accidental flyaways. You see there's nasty cuts here on my fingers. Let me focus in on that. That there was from a propeller blade when I was setting up the orange RX. And where else did I do? Yeah, just on my finger there, and that was a while ago. You can see they've almost healed now, but they were a lot worse, I can assure you. So, take your propellers off, people. Okay, so now we're going to bind our Lemon RX receiver. Now you can see we've got 2 rows of pins there on the receiver. Now the wire coming out the Vortex, you want the ground, the black wire, facing towards the top of the Vortex on the top row. So I'm going to put the bind plug in first. This goes along the bottom, and then the wire from the Vortex goes above that with the ground facing the front of the quad, like so. Okay, then we want to get our transmitter ready into bind mode, all ready to bind there. So let's plug a battery in, and we should get this light here flashing red, ready for bind mode. Quickly press bind on your transmitter.
DSMX 22 milliseconds.
And you can see we're all bound there.
Complete.
Okay, and that's it. We're all bound. So, with your bind plug still in, you've got your failsafe settings we're going to go through now. So, get it ready for your failsafe. As I explained in my last video, I have the throttle down to 0, and this in a neutral position for when or if I lose signal on the quad. So, all you do is leave your bind plug in on the receiver. You see we've got the red light. You just press the failsafe button, and you can see we've got a green light there. That is the failsafe set to whatever your transmitter is set at. Then you just remove your bind plug, and that's it. Failsafe done, set to 0. I really like that. It's a good feature and easy to change should ever you need to. Okay, now time to set up the transmitter. Now I had lots of problems with this. It took me lots of trial and error to get this right. If we go into servo setup is what you want, and over the top here we've got reverse. Now on the reverse you want the aileron and the rudder to be reversed in the top position. They all come down as standard. It's exactly the same as the orange RX, the reverse. But the next important bit is this bit, the travel. Now this took me lots of trial and error. I was getting lots of strange problems without this set right. Now on the orange RX, the settings were the lower throttle, which I'm highlighted there, was on 125. The higher throttle was on just the standard 100. Then the rudder over here, both of those were on 125 on the orange RX. Now on the lemon RX, these are the values that you need. So the minimum throttle is 110. Nearly armed my quad, I forgot it was plugged in. So minimum throttle is 110. Then the maximum throttle 105. Then over to the rudder here, you can see both them values are on 110. Now without them values set right, I was getting all kinds of craziness. The quad would change modes from angle to horizon all on its own just by me moving the throttle around. It caused me lots of problems and took me forever to get these values right. They're very odd values, to be honest. 105, 110. You know, the old orange RX, like I say, that was on 125 on all of those. So that's something to be aware of there, and it took me a lot of trial and error to get that right. So that's our transmitter all set up, ready to go. Okay, so final thoughts on the Lemon RX PPM receiver. I think it's brilliant. To be honest, before I got this, I was seriously thinking about ditching the whole Spektrum setup and going with the FreeSky Taranis that everyone else seems to have. Really like this transmitter, so it would have been a shame. But now this Lemon RX, I've had it about 2 weeks now, and I've been flying distances I could have only dreamed of before. I've never once lost signal since I've had this Lemon RX fitted. Never once. With all my flips, and you know, it doesn't matter if the quad's the other way round, I'm still not losing signal at all. So I can personally really vouch for this receiver. I'm really happy with it. And this is a receiver I'll be using on all my mini quads of the future until something else new and better comes out from Lemon RX. But there we go, people. I hope that helps you. Like I say, I had a real nightmare setting this all up. It took me best part of a good few hours, so I hope this video helps. I couldn't find no other videos online about the Lemon RX or Spektrum setup on these, so I hope that helps you all out, people. Be sure to subscribe, and we'll have some more videos coming up soon. Thanks for watching.